To make this project, we are going to simply make a slip knot and insert your hook into the slip knot made. We are going to make a chain of 109 for the baby yoke. I have a separate tutorial on how to make a yoke which explains it into details. If you are interested, please click the I above, or better still, check the description. So I made my total of 109 chains, and I'm going to add an extra 3 for a turning chain. After that, I'm going to insert my hook, yarn over, insert my hook into the third space, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. That is how to double crochet, and you are going to repeat this double crochet stitch until you hit the 18th stitch. So this is the third stitch, this is 4, this is going to be the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, so you have a total of 17 stitches. Since we had a turning chain, it makes a total of 18. So in the next stitch, you are going to put a double crochet there. Okay, in the same exact space, place another double crochet there, chain 1, go back in the same space and add an extra 2 double crochet to create a V space, which would enable you to have sections of the yoke. So we made a total of 18 stitches, and in the next stitch we did a 2 double crochets, chain 2 double crochets. So we are going to continue with by putting a double crochet in each space until you reach the 18th stitch. So this is the third, it's going to be the 4th, the 5th, 6th, 7th. So you are just going to double crochet until you reach the 18th stitch, just like how we did, and then you make another variation. So we are gradually getting to our 18th stitch. We are going to make a pause. So this is a total of 18 stitches after the V of double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. So that means in the next stitch we are going to put a total of 2 double crochets. So this is the first one, so 1, 2, you chain 1, and in the same exact space another double crochet. So 2 double crochet, another 2 double crochets, sorry, so 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, and you are even. For the next section we are going to double crochet in each stitch until you hit the 30th stitch. So just go along with your regular double crochet, placing one in each chain space until you hit the 30th stitch. After the repetition of 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets in the same space. At this moment, you are done with your total of 30 double crochet. After the 2 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet, you can see the sections already. So for the next session, make sure you place your total of 2 double crochets, chain 1, sorry, and then another double crochet in the same exact space, and then add an extra one, so 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets in the same space, and continue with your total of 18 stitches. So 1, 2, so just double crochet in each stitch until you hit the 18th stitch, where you are going to do the same repetition. So after your total of 18 stitches, after the 30 double crochets and the curvy one, you are going to double crochet in the next, put a total of 2 double crochets in the next space, chain 1 and another extra 2 in the same exact space, and the rest of the chain should be a total of 18 for the final sector. So let me lay this down appropriately so you know what I'm talking about. So first two consist of 18 double crochet. First two sections consist of 18 double crochet each. The very middle is 30 double crochet, and the extra one that you are going to add after your 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, also going to be 18. For the next row, you are going to chain a total of 3 and double crochet into the next space. So you are applying your double crochet on top of each double crochet and lying on smoothly until you hit the section where you did your 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets. So there's going to be an increase for each sector. You realize that previously we did 18 for this hand sector. It's going to increase to 20 since we did a total of 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets. The extra 2 double crochet before the chain 1 is added to the 18 chain, making a total of 20. I hope you get it. You are going to get it as you progress, so go along until you hit your chain 1 space and I'll show you what to do. All right, we are now at the chain 1 space, and we are going to put a total of 2 double crochets directly in the chain 1 space, and then chain 1 again, go back inside the space with another 2 double crochets. So that is how to maintain this. You are going to go along with your double crochet in each stitch till you hit the next chain 1 space. Very easy and very simple. So we are now at the next chain 1 space, where we are going to put a total of 2 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet. I hope you get it. So that is how the process is. Very simple and very easy. So the next sector is when you did a total of 30 double crochets. You are just going to place a double crochet on top of each double crochet until you meet the next chain 1 again. So go along and double crochet, and as I told you, it keeps increasing by 2 stitches for each sector, and you are going to realize this when you are done with a few rows. So when you hit a chain 1 space, you put a total of 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets in the same exact space. And yes, you do this for this one, and then we will end the row. So I'll meet you there. I have completed my rows appropriately, making sure that when I meet a chain 1 space, I put a total of 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, and I'm going to do this repetition for 10 extra rows, making a total of 12 rows for my yoke, my baby yoke. It depends on how it is. Note that this baby yoke is for 2 years and above, so it's a little bit extra large, but if you are doing this for a 1 year or less, I would recommend the tutorial that I explain how to make a simple baby yoke. It would be in the description box as well. So after that, you are going to slip stitch to connect and chain a total of 2, turn over your work and work towards the direction of your left. So we are just going to place a double crochet in each stitch all around. As you can see, we are building a nice band for the yoke, and also we are going to create the sleeves as well. So just double crochet until you meet your very first chain 1 space, the corner space, where you put a total of 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets. This time you are not going to do that, just double crochet till you meet your chain 1 space, and I'll show you what to do this corner space. Okay, all right, we have now placed our double crochet, and we are at the first chain 1 space. Okay, so this time you are not going to do anything. You are just going to chain a total of 11 or 10 depending on how you want your underarm portion, and then skip the whole double crochet section and move directly to the very next chain 1 space and place a double crochet inside the space, just a double crochet. After this, we are just going to double crochet along towards this sector, as you can see, to meet the next chain 1 space, and you are going to do the same repetition by chaining a total of 11 or however you want your underarm portion. Skip the whole row and double crochet into the chain 1 space nearest to you, and then we are going to continue by placing a double crochet in each stitch till you meet your very first double crochet for the row. So just go along swiftly with this repetition, and yeah, it's pretty easy and pretty simple. So we are finally at our very first double crochet we made. We are just going to single crochet to join swiftly and chain a total of 3 to begin the next row. So chain 3 to begin the next row and go along with your double crochet in each stitch until you meet your underarm portion where you made a chain of 11. So just swiftly repeat this double crochet until you meet your chain right here. So I've double crocheted and I'm now at the sector where I chained a total of 11. You are just going to move along with regular double crochet, making sure that you double crochet in each chain space. This time you are double crocheting in the chain spaces, so you must have a total of 11 stitches right at the underarm portion. After your total of 11 stitches, you are going to continue with your repetition of your double crochet as usual, following along until you meet the next underarm portion where you are also going to repeat your double crochet in the chain space and finally slip stitch to join. So I just did that and have finally slip stitched to join. Please pay attention to understand how to make this leaf detail. So to make the leaf detail, after you are done with your yoke, you are going to chain a total of 3, place a double crochet in the next stitch and then in the stitch after. So you are supposed to have a total of 3 double crochets, and after this you are going to chain a total of 2, skip the next 2 stitches and double crochet into the third. Chain 2 again, skip the next 2 stitches, double crochet into the third, the next stitch and the following as well, and then add an extra stitch. Okay, so chain 2, skip the next 2 stitches, double crochet into the third, chain 2 again, skip the next 2 stitches, double crochet into the third, double crochet into the following, the stitch after, and then the next stitch as well, making a total of 4 consecutive double crochet. I hope you are getting this explanation. This row is going to contain a row of 4 consecutive double crochet and a standalone double crochet separated by chain 2 spaces. So that is how I did my repetition all around till I met my very first double crochet. So I just chained a total of 2 and single crochet or slip stitch to join. Yes, so this is an easy row. Please pay attention for the next row. For the next row, it's quite easy. You are going to chain a total of 3 and double crochet into the next stitch and into the following as well, and then finally into the 4th stitch. So you are going to have a total of 4 double crochets, chain 2. On top of the stand alone double crochet, you are going to put a total of 3 double crochets in the same exact space. So you can see this clearly. I'm sorry it went a little bit back, but I'm sure you can see this. Chain 2, on top of the 4 consecutive double crochet, place a double crochet on each, maintaining your 4 consecutive double crochets. So yes, that's how the repetition is going to be simultaneously. You are going to chain 2 on top of the standalone double crochet. You are going to put a total of 3 double crochets in the same exact space, and chain a total of 2 again, and on top of the 4 consecutive double crochet, place a double crochet on each, maintaining the 4 consecutive double crochet. So that is how the repetition is going to be for this second row. I'll meet you when I'm done with my whole repetition. So I'm done with my repetition. I finished my 3 double crochet in the same space on top of the standalone, and I single crocheted to join. For the next row, we are going to chain a total of 3 double crochet. So chain 3 double crochet into the next stitch and into the following and into the stitch after. So still maintaining your 4 double crochets, you chain a total of 2. In the first stitch, you place a total of 2 double crochets, and then double crochet into the next. In the final stitch, another 2 double crochets. So you are increasing the total of 3 into 5 by putting 2 double crochets in the first stitch, placing 1 in the middle, and then another 2 in the last. After this, you go ahead to chain your total of 2 and maintain your 4 consecutive double crochet by placing a double crochet on top of each for the 4 consecutive. And that is how the repetition for row 3 is. So I just joined a new yarn, and I'm just going to continue with my stitch pattern. After joining the yarn, you are going to make a variation. This time you are not going to increase it to 5 like how we just did. In the very first stitch, after chaining 2, you are going to put a total of 3 in the same exact space. Okay, I hope you can see this clearly. Put a total of 3 in the very first stitch for the 3 double crochet increase. Chain 2, skip the middle stitch, and in the last stitch place a total of 3 double crochets. I hope you can see this. So we are going to have 3 simultaneous increase, the one that has to be increased to 5, and the one which maintains a total of 4 consecutive double crochet, and finally the one that you place a total of 3 in the first stitch, chain 2, skip the middle, and put a total of 3 in the last. Yes, that is how the repetition is going to be. I'm sorry if this is a little bit confused, but just practice and you will get this. So after that, you're going to chain 2 double crochet as usual on top of the 4 consecutive double crochet by placing a double crochet on top of each, and chaining 2, moving to the next sector. And with the next sector, which has a total of 3 double crochets in the same space, you are going to increase it to 5. So to increase to 5, we are going to put a total of 2 double crochets, and then a double crochet in the middle, and finally a double crochet in the last stitch, 2 double crochets in the last stitch, making a total of 5. After that, you chain a total of 2 double crochet on top of the 4 consecutive double crochet until you go along with the next section of simultaneous repetition, where you are going to chain 2. So just chain 2 in the very first stitch for the 3 double crochet. You are going to put a total of 3 double crochet in the same exact space. Okay, 3 double crochets in the same exact space, chain 2, and place another 3 double crochets in the same exact space. And yes, voila, that's the repetition, guys. Chain 2, where you have your 4 consecutive, make sure you repeat the same 4 consecutive double crochet, and then after this repetition, go ahead to repeat. So I want to give you a little bit variation so that I don't get confused with the increase to 5, with the stitch pattern where we increase to 5. It only occurs at the back section, okay, but for the front section I made the sector where I increase the very first stitch. I place 3 double crochets in the very first stitch, chain 2, skip the middle, and place a total of 3. So this is a sample of what I meant exactly. So if you check the front sector, you realize that I maintained the stitch where we did 3 double crochets, chain 2, skip the middle, and put a total of 3 in the next stitch. I'm going to give you examples. So after chaining 2, we are now leaving the back sector, the half of the back sector. After chaining 2, you are going to put a total of 3 double crochet. You are going to increase to 5. Okay, so this is going to be the last leaf increase to 5. Okay, so by putting 2 double crochets in the first stitch, 1 in the middle and 2 in the last, so we are now graduating to the front portion. So this is what I mean. So after you chain 2, as usual, you go ahead to repeat your stitch where you do your 4 consecutive double crochet, and after that you are going to chain a total of 2 and place a total of 3 double crochets in the very first stitch for this increase of 3. Okay, chain 2, skip the middle, and place a total of 3 in the last stitch. So you realize that it's 3, so 3 double crochets in the first, chain 2, skip the middle, 3 in the last. So that is the repetition for each 3 sector, each space that you see for this front, each place that you see that has 3 double crochets in the same stitch, you are going to do a total of 3, chain 2, skip the middle, and then 3 stitches in the last, and maintain your total of 4 consecutive double crochet. I hope you get what I mean. So you are not going to do the sector where we increase it into 5 stitches. And yes, that's how the repetition is going to be for the front. Okay, just don't get confused. Okay, so just go along. I'll meet you at the end of the row, and then let me give you a few demonstrations. So as usual, as I said, you chain your 2 and make sure you repeat your consecutive double crochet on each, which is the 4 consecutive double crochet. You chain 2 again. You have met your 3 double crochets. This time you are going to put a total of 3 double crochet in the first space. Okay, chain 2, skip the middle, and put a total of 3 double crochets in the last space. I hope you get what I mean by now. So with the back section, we were interchanging it with the increase of 5 stitches, so 3 becomes 5, and then the one that we just did right now. But with the front section, we are not interchanging it, we are just doing 2 simultaneous repetition between the 4 consecutive double crochet and then the 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet, skipping the middle, and 3 double crochet. That is how the pattern works right now. As you can see, it's a repetitive pattern which builds up with the leaf. Okay, so yes, I'm just going to repeat along, and I would meet you when we are getting to the back. So we are actually getting to the back. I did my increase of 5 stitches, okay, which is going to be the very first after the repetition of the front sector. Okay, so with this 3 double crochet in the same space, you are going to increase to 5. Continue with your 4 consecutive double crochet, and then go ahead to simultaneously repeat by chaining 2 and putting a total of 3 double crochets in the same stitch for the very first stitch of the 3 consecutive, the 3 stitch in the same space, chain 2, and then skip the middle and put a total of 3. I hope you are getting used to this stitch by now. So just do this and I'll meet you at the very end, and yes, we continue the next row. So guys, I'm done with my repetition, and I'm finally going to join. So as you can see, just take a screenshot so that you know that you are on the right level with me. So after that, you're going to chain a total of 2 and single crochet to join, or just slip stitch to join the very first double crochet. You are going to chain 3, double crochet as usual until the next stitch, the following and the stitch after, making a total of 4 consecutive double crochet, which is likely to run through the project for a long time. So after this, we are going to chain 2 and place a double crochet on top of each double crochet. So you realize that it was 3, we increased to 5, and now we are maintaining the 5. So you are supposed to double crochet 5 times, putting a double crochet on top of each, and you have 5 on top of this pineapple. That is a pineapple leaf detail, okay, as you can see. And yeah, wherever you see your 5, you maintain your 5. So the next thing is to chain 2 and place a double crochet on top of each, as usual for the consecutive double crochet. So yeah, as usual for the consecutive double crochet, place a double crochet on top of each, making a total of 4, as you can see. And then you meet your very first section, you chain 2. You are going to work separately with the increases. So with the first stitch, you are going to put a total of 2 double crochets, okay. In the middle stitch for the 3 increase stitches, you are going to put a double crochet, and in the final stitch you are going to put a total of 2. So you have increased to 5. So the very first stitch where we place 3 is now 5. After that, you are going to chain 1 and place a double crochet in the middle space where you chained 2. So figure out a space there and just place a double crochet there, okay. Chain 1 again. In the next stitch, place, in the next double crochet stitch, place a total of 2 double crochets, a double crochet in the middle stitch, and in the final stitch a total of 2 double crochets, making an increase of 5 stitches, okay. So you have 5 here, you have 5 here, and have a stitch, a double crochet in the middle separated by chain 1, okay, you get it. So after that, you are going to chain a total of 2 and repeat your 4 consecutive double crochet, which has been running through the project for some time. And yeah, just crochet along, chain 2 and double crochet on top of each stitch. You realize that we increased this to 5, so you are still going to maintain your 5 double crochet for this leaf pattern. Chain 2 and maintain your 4 consecutive double crochet. So guys, yes, as you can see, this is how the process is, okay. So we are meeting the stitch pattern where we have 3 increase here, separated by chain 2, 3 increase. So as usual, I'm going to repeat the same thing we just did, increase it to 5. Let me just give you a demonstration. So remember to always chain 2. In the very first stitch for the increase of 3, we are going to put a total of 2 double crochet. and then place a single double crochet in the middle. In the final stitch, you are going to put a total of 2 double crochets, and you have increased this to 5. Okay, after that, you chain 1 in the middle stitch, maneuver your way and place a single double crochet there. So just a double crochet there, and then you chain 1, move to the next double crochet stitch and place a total of 2 double crochets. Okay, so you are increasing this one as well, so a total of 2, and then a double crochet in the middle, and then in the final stitch a total of 2 as well, making sure that you have increased it to 5 just as we did. So you have 2 5 increase of double crochets, 2 increase of double crochets with 5 stitches, and then a double crochet in the middle separated by chain 1. So that is what you are going to do whenever you meet that sector of pineapple. Just treat this simultaneously, and you are going to love this repetitive pattern. Whenever you see the increase of only 5, which is the only single leaf detail, you are going to maintain your 5 double crochets. Whenever you meet your 4 consecutive double crochets, just maintain it. And whenever you meet your leaf pattern where you have 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, you are going to increase both to 5, and then make sure you have a double crochet in the middle. I hope this is really easy for you. So I just repeated it all around, and we are going to start the next row as soon as possible. For the next row, we are going to chain a total of 3 and place a double crochet as usual until you have your 4 consecutive double crochet. You chain 2, and this time you are going to do a decrease. So yarn over, insert into the very first double crochet, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert into the following double crochet, pull through, you have 4 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, you have 3 loops, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Okay, and then double crochet into the next stitch. In the final 2 stitches, you are going to yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through 2 with 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, insert into the hook, pull through, you have 4 loops, yarn over, pull through 2, you have 3 loops, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. So that's how to do a double crochet decrease, and I know you guys are much more familiar with this. So you have 3 stitches now. After that, you are going to chain 2 and place a double crochet on top of each consecutive double crochet as usual for your 4 consecutive double crochet, which has been running through the project for some time. So we are going to meet the complicated part. Okay, so we are going to chain 2, okay, and double crochet decrease. Okay, so we are going to yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert into the following, yarn over, pull through 2, you have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, and then double crochet into the next stitch as usual, yarn over. In the final 2 stitches, you are going to do a double crochet decrease. So just as we did for the first 2 stitches, we are just going to do it for the final 2, and you now have 3 stitches. Okay, so we are going to chain a total of 2. In the middle stitch, place a total of 3 double crochet on top of it, okay, for an increase. So just the standalone double crochet, which was separated by chain 1 space, make sure you put a total of 3 double crochet on top. After that, you chain 2, double crochet decrease in the very first 2 stitches for the 5 double crochet increase, and then double crochet in the next, and in the final 2 double crochet decrease. Okay, so if I'm going fast for you, you can just slow down and repeat and take notice of this. Okay, so you are now decreasing the 5 stitches back to 3, okay, just to maintain the leaf detail. For the next stitch, you are going to chain up a total of 2, and for the next section, you are going to chain up a total of 2 and repeat your 4 consecutive double crochet as usual. Okay, so you should be a little bit familiar with this by now. Wherever you meet your 5 double crochets for this single leaf detail. We have two separated splitted leaf detail, which is the complicated one, and then there's the single leaf detail. It's easy to work with. With a single leaf detail, you decrease to 3. You should be familiar with the double crochet decrease right now. I just taught you right now. And with the splitted leaf, you decrease each to 3 and then increase the double crochet, the single double crochet in the middle to 3. Okay, so that's how you're going to do the repetition all around until you slip stitch to join for the next row. So you can see how the pattern is coming out neatly. For the next row, you are going to chain a total of 3 double crochet into the following double crochet into the next and the following stitch. Okay, so this time we are decreasing the 4 consecutive to 3 double crochet, so you are going to skip the last stitch. After that, you are going to chain a total of 2 and do a double crochet decrease, so 3 stitches to 1. Okay, just as you can see. Okay, so when you have 4 loops now, you can yarn over and put through all 4 loops. That is how to do a 3 double crochet to 1 stitch. So we are gradually progressing with the pattern. After that, you are going to chain a total of 2 double crochet into the skip the next stitch and double crochet into the second, the third and the fourth, decreasing the 4 consecutive to 3 stitches. Okay, chain 2, yarn over, insert into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert into the final stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through all 4 loops. So that's the double crochet decrease, which is 3 stitches to a single one. We just did it for the splitted stitch, if you have not taken notice. After that, you are going to chain a total of 2 and increase your 3 double crochet, which stands at the exact middle of the splitted one. So we are also going to split that one, which will develop into new leaves. So we are going to chain a total of 2 as usual, as I just said. In the first stitch, we are going to put a total of 3 double crochets. After a total of 3 double crochets, you are going to chain a total of 2, skip the middle stitch, and in the final stitch, place a total of 3 double crochets. So as I said, we are developing new leaves, which will split and develop just like how we have ended with these leaves we started with. Okay, so after that, I'm going to chain up a total of 2, yarn over, insert into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert into the following stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert into the final stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through all 4 loops just to have 1 stitch. So that's the 3 stitches to 1 decrease, double crochet decrease. After that, I'm going to chain 2 and continue with your 3 consecutive double crochet. Now, as I said, you are decreasing 4 to 3, and these 3 consecutive double crochet is going to run through the project till the end, or the length, whichever length you want. Okay, I can't explain, I can't film every process I go through, but if you have been able to reach this sector, you should figure out by now for the next rows coming. Okay, so with the single leaf detail, as usual, you are going to decrease it to 1, as you just saw, and then with your splitted leaf, you are going to decrease it, and then with the middle 3 consecutive double crochet, you are going to split it by putting a total of 3, chain 2, skip the middle, place a total of 3 double crochets, and that's how the repetition is going to be till you slip stitch to join. So I've slip stitched to join, and you can see how the pattern is. You should figure out by now. We are going to do several rows of repetition. Okay, So where the single leaf ended, we are going to build a new leaf, and then we are still going to continue with our 3 consecutive double crochet, which is very constant and dominant. Okay, so for the next we are going to chain a total of 3, place a double crochet into the next stitch, and the following as usual, maintaining your 3 consecutive double crochet now. And now you see we have ended this leaf pattern. We are just going to chain 2 and place a double crochet right on top of the pattern. Chain 2 once again. Okay, so that's the double crochet we just began. So you see where I'm pinpointing, that's what we have repeated. So after that, you're going to chain 2 and continue with your 3 consecutive double crochet. Okay, and then you are going to chain a total of 2. Once again, move to the splitted aspect. Okay, so okay, chain 1 2 3, sorry, because the gap is going to be long, and with the very first 3 double crochet you are going to make an increase. So with the very first stitch, you put a total of 2 double crochets and a double crochet in the exact middle. In the following stitch, you are going to place another 2 double crochets in the same stitch, making an increase of 5, as you can see, for the very first leaf detail now, which is going to, so this one have ended and we are beginning a new leaf, if you have taken notice. After that, you are going to chain a total of 2 or 1 and double crochet in the middle, chain 1 and do your increase. So in the first stitch, you place a total of 2 double crochets, in the middle you place a total of 1, and in the final stitch you place a total of 2 double crochets, as you can just see. So that's how the increase is going to look. The previous leaves have ended and we are beginning a new leaf right now, if you have taken notice. So yes, that's how the splitting is. When the leaf ends, you make sure that you continue with your sector. So where you have your 5 double crochet, you start your very first middle double crochet standalone, which will increase to 5, and then you begin to split. So after that, you're going to chain 2, move directly on top of your 3 consecutive double crochet and place a double crochet on top of each, as you can see, and then you chain a total of 2 and continue with just a double crochet, which is the same as what I just pinpointed previously. So we are beginning a new leaf, and after that you are going to chain 2 and double crochet right on top of each stitch. Okay, so as you can see, this is how the pattern is. It's not really complicated, as you guys see. You just have to master the splitted part and make sure that you split at the right position. Okay, so when you have 3 double crochets, you increase it to 5, and then in the middle stitch where you chain 2, you are going to chain 1 double crochet right in the exact middle that you find, and then chain 1 again, and then double crochet 2 times in the very first stitch for the 3 consecutive. Okay, so double crochet 2 and then double crochet 1 in the middle, and place a total of 2 double crochets in the last, making an increase of 5 stitches. Okay, so that's how the pattern pretty works. Like, we have 2 sectors, okay, which is the one we split, the leaf pattern we split, and then the single leaf, which is simple right now. Okay, and then we have your 3 consecutive double crochet, as you can see, which is very dominant and the easiest part. So the splitted part is working nicely, and then we have a double crochet you realize that the splitted part is really at the front sector. Okay, so the front sector really ruffles up, okay, to give it this flow. That is why we didn't repeat the single leaf detail for the front aspect. So I repeated as usual what I've been teaching you so far, and I'm just going to slip stitch to join, and then we begin the next row. For the next row, you are going to chain up a total of 3 and continue with your 3 consecutive double crochet as usual. Just the usual thing, as you can see. Yes, I'm just going to do this repetition so you can continue with the repetition. So after that, you're going to chain up a total of 2, and as you can see where I pinpointed, you increase to 3. We are just doing the same thing, so you can just watch the pattern downwards and then do the same thing for each sector. Okay, so we increase to 3, and then as you can see, okay, and then you are going to continue with the pattern. So you chain 2 and put your total of 3 consecutive double crochets as usual, which is very very easy. And after your 3 consecutive double crochet, you go ahead to tackle the splitting leaf aspect. Since we increase to 5, you realize that you are going to decrease to 3. Okay, so first of all, you are going to chain up your total of 2 and then decrease, just like when you take a look at the down. When it increases to 5, you decrease back to 3. So as usual, do your double crochet decrease in the very first 2 stitches. Okay, and then double crochet in the middle stitch, and then in the final 2 stitch, your double crochet decrease, you chain 2, and in the middle standalone stitch, you increase to 3 as usual, which will be splitted in the next row. Okay, just the same exact repetition, guys, nothing new, the same exact repetition. After that, you continue to do your decrease as you can see in the next splitted leaf, and then you chain 2 and continue with your usual thing. You tackle the splitted leaves separately from the single leaf, which is mostly found at the back sector. Okay, so yeah, that's what you're going to do here in each splitted leaf. And then when you see this picture as a simultaneous repetition, you should be fine. And if you are lost, you just go ahead to look at the previous one you have just done and then continue with the flow. So I've repeated quite a number of rows. I'll leave the information in the description, but you can see the flow right now. Okay, this is the front sector. Okay, the splitted leaf flows nicely. Where you increase to 5, you make sure you put your single double crochet in the middle, where you're going to increase to 3 and then later split to the new leaf, because as you increase to 5, you decrease to 3 and then finally decrease to a single one. And that's how it is. When you take a look at the back sector, you realize that the single leaf flows at the back sector. Okay, so you can just spot some single leaves if you are taking notice of this, and then the splitted leaf is in between them. Okay, so the front sector is quite easy. It contains only the splitted leaves, and if you are familiar with this, we have familiar with this pattern, you should be fine. You can also use the time lapse to repeat backwards in order to help you with the repetition if you are lost. But for now, let's just take notice of some repetitions and just go along with the flow. As I said, when you have your 3 stitches for the splitted aspect, you increase the first one to 5, and then you chain 2, and then you chain 1, place a double crochet in the middle, chain 1, and then increase the next splitted leaf to 5, as you just can see. And that's what you have been doing so far until we decrease and then begin new leaves in between. So yes, let's begin the flower portion. Okay, guys. As I said, check the description for all the extra information. For the flower portion, you are going to chain a total of 4 and go back to the very first stitch and place a total of 11 double crochet. So in total you are supposed to have 1, since the chain 4 counts as a stitch as well. So yeah, so you can do this with any color of yarn of your choice. It's up to you. It's pretty easy and pretty simple. So after that, make sure you pull the loop to tighten the middle and then slip stitch to join. Okay, so insert your hook into the very first double crochet and slip stitch to join, just to create a round circle. Chain 1 and pull a loop to secure and cut. For the next color, I'm using a mint green color for the flower, so I'm just going to pull through and secure, or you can just make a slip knot first before you pull through to join at any section. After that, you are going to chain a total of 4 and single crochet into the next stitch. So chain 4, skip the next stitch and single crochet into the following. So we are just going to do this repetition. Chain 4, skip the next stitch, single crochet until you meet the very first chain 4 you made. So you are supposed to have a total of 6 now, since you are skipping every middle stitch. So we have finally met after chaining 4, single crochet into the very first single crochet you made, and go back to the very first space with a half double crochet and a total of 6 double crochet. So after a half double crochet, you place a total of 6 double crochet and finally half double crochet to join. After that, you are going to single crochet in the next stitch, half double crochet, and then 6 double crochet in the same space, okay, before you half double crochet to secure. So you are just creating petals, if you are not familiar with this, in each space. Okay, so I'm just going to do this in each space till you meet your end. So I did my petal all around, and I'm just going to slip stitch and cut off and probably join my pink coral pink color and make another petal at the back section. So I made a band which includes double crochet rows running across for the middle, just to add more color. So this is the back sector. I'm just going to add buttons. Okay, these are cute buttons. You can add it with a darning needle or a regular sewing needle. 2 is enough for the back opening, and you can just add some edging, which I failed to do, but it's optional for you. I hope this tutorial was much more understandable, and if you have any questions, you can always send me a DM so I address them appropriately. Thank you so much for watching my tutorials. Please give this video a thumbs up to support, and leave a comment at least to get interactive with me. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.